So the Bolshevik communists are absolute fucking scum, absolute dog shit. Even goddamn Noam Chomsky says if the Bolsheviks are leftists, then I don't want to be, I don't want to be a leftist. Don't call me a leftist. If you think that the Bolsheviks are leftists, I don't want to be put in the same category as the Bolsheviks. There's a couple things I like about the Russian Revolution. There's a couple things I like about these Bolshevik communists. Because, goddamn America pretends to be capitalist. They're so fucking afraid of just the thought of just an idea of somebody, we all take care of one another. We all take care of the poor. Meanwhile, Americans also love Jesus, where we all take care of one another and we take care of the poor. Jesus is, communist as fuck. We should take care of each other. We shouldn't just be bleeding heart liberals and, waste a bunch of money, but we should give a goddamn fuck about one another. So one man's liberals, another man's communists. We're all leftists in some way, shape, or form. If you're a conservative and you're taking Social Security, give that shit back, you fucking heartless pile of shit. You hate the nanny state? You didn't pay that. Send those fucking money back. That's not how it works. You're taking the working class people's money. When you were working, you were paying the old people. Now that you're old, you're stealing the fucking money away from the working class, you pieces of shit. Conservatives that have a Social Security card are literal card-carrying socialists, you hypocritical motherfuckers. You like these public roads, you like this police and the fire. God damn, going to sit there and say they're against goddamn socialism when you have a mixed system. There's a couple things that I like. The communists were game changers. I'll give them Russia. I'll give them Russia and the Russian Revolution in 1917, which is a bunch, because they killed a lot of people. But just the idea, Red Scares, there were two major Red Scares in America. Just because the Bolsheviks, just because some group of, just because Trotsky, Lenin, and Stalin, three assholes over in Russia took power, that, changed the entire game. It scared the shit. In the 1950s, Eisenhower, they arrested people just because they believed in a different economic system in the land of the free. We're the land of the free. Oh yeah, what do you believe? Well, I believe we should feed the poor. Get in jail, Jesus. How many Jesuses did we arrest just for being communist? That's how afraid of the Bolshevik communist America was. And so because Bolshevik communists have represented the boogeyman, I like that. I don't, if anything, it's like you trying to make them cooler than what they are, you fucking pricks. In many respects, Americans are still afraid of communists and communism. And one man's liberals, another man's communist. I'm technically not a communist. I'm a democratic socialist. So, there's, we can get into that, but that's, if you want me to be a communist, I'll be your huckleberry. Yeah, I want the poor to be fed. So is that what your problem is with communism? Huh? And if you're a conservative and you're taking Social Security, fucking give that check back, you thieving ass motherfucker, you communist motherfucker, you commie bastard. Go get a job stealing fucking money from hard working class people. Oh, I paid into that. It's not how the fucking system Social Security works, you asshole. If you paid into it, then it would be just insurance. Why don't you just get your own fucking insurance, motherfucker? You don't need a government program if you're just paying into it. Russia was a backwards ass shithole. Bolshevik communists helped those bastards out, so they took a bull by the horn. The Bolshevik communists made history their bitch. Their revolution brought forth a bold progressive agenda. The Russian Revolution, they were talking about peace, land, and bread. They were talking about from each according to his ability to each according to his needs. They were talking about nationalizing everything. The banks, nationalizing the banks and the land and the factories and, the mines and the everything. Nationalize everything. Take all the power. And then redistribute everything to make sure all of society is doing well. Give the factories to the working people. Genius. We can control our own means of production. What do we need a capitalist class to oppress us for? Communists built their entire society on Soviets, i.e. working class unions. If men were smart, they would get together. We have to get a job in order to live. Why do we not have working class unions all over the place? This is smart to the basic fundamental unit of society, households, families, and Soviets. If you're a man or a woman, you're an adult, and you want to, raise a family in a good society, then you better be a part of a good working class union. You're going to have to get a job. They're going to have to get a job. Everybody's going to have to get a job. So if you lose a job, you're part of a union, you're part of a a union shop, you could somebody else has a job for you. So being part of a good working class union helps one's family out, and vice versa. The Russian Revolution defined precisely what a revolution was. Each one of the, French Revolution, American Revolution, Haitian Revolution, Russian Revolution, the Cuban Revolution, they added something to the overall conversation. They gave something, a gift to the entire world. And what was that gift? The Russian Revolution gift was that when the dams break, when the levees break, when the proletariat masses get pissed off and it's just it's insufferable. They have to overrun the bourgeoisie, the few, the minority, and they have to change everything. That's what happens when a revolution happens. So sorry to the bourgeoisie few. If you were paying attention, you could have staved off that impending revolution. If you were being smart, even Jordan Peterson points that out. He says conservatives should realize that revolution is possible, and when the masses are miserable and only a few are benefit from the current system and they continue to get more and more, it's going to break. It's going to break. And if you're one of the people benefiting from the system, you don't want the system to break. The Bolshevik communists, they won their revolution. They won their civil war. They understood nationalism and revolution better than most. And they were good, they had a decent, pretty good decision-making body because they were able to make the right decisions to where their place in history cannot be questioned. The Bolshevik communists, they will always have a place in history. They could have been a lot better. The communists also ran Russia and the entire USSR up until 1991. So from what? The 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s? Was that 5-6 decades? They've inspired countless communist parties, movements in every country. They gave America 2 major red scares. Even the Eastern Iron Curtain bloc all have universal health care, whereas America does not. There's a couple good things we could say about the Bolshevik communists. They're pieces of shit, and fuck them. They didn't give a shit about democracy. Don't forget about Cruddy. Don't forget about Kronstadt. And always remember the Holodomor. Never forget the Holodomor. It's like the Holocaust. Only it was the Holocaust that the Bolshevik communists did to the Ukraine.